Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and thank you for joining us. We're running a little bit late this evening. I'm Alex, as you can see on screen, and sometimes I look better just with that picture. You don't want to see the real Alex Parra. Trust me, it's not a pretty sight. But for better or worse, here we are. Norma, good evening. We're running a little bit late tonight. First of all, how are you, and why are you wearing that shirt?
You know, I decided to wear this shirt, Alex, because of yesterday when you didn't know what Guns Up was. So I'm like, you know, maybe
you're educating me. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
Miss Producer is going to check if we're actually live on Facebook. Norma, if you can confirm, that would make me very, very happy. And I'm actually quite happy that hopefully some of you are tuning in and watching. I see that we are live also, Norma, on the Twitter, so I'm very excited about that. But again, Norma, why the shirt again? Because you're teaching me about things. What's your connection? What's your connection to the Red Raiders for those that don't know yet, Norma?
The connection for my niece went there. My niece actually played soccer at Texas Tech. So
really?
She graduated last year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's the connection.
That's the connection. Have you been to Lubbock, Norma? I haven't been to Lubbock in years, and I hear it's Lubbock. I'm just going to say it that way, right?
You know, I did go last year for my niece's graduation, and it's like nothing there. Like, literally nothing.
I guess what is there is tech, right? That's what drives.
It's tech, yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, every so often, every so often it's good to get in the car and drive 36 hours across Texas. Am I right, Norma? It takes that long, doesn't it?
I mean, yeah, it did take forever. But, you know, I went because of the purpose of my niece graduating. So it was nice, though.
I'm glad.
It was nice overall.
I'm glad. And that's the niece that doesn't want to be an intern with Deportes Nation, right? Because she's got better things to do.
She's declined the offer, so yeah, she doesn't want to.
Norma, how are you feeling health-wise? You're doing okay? You look good, at least what we can see. I suggested you wear your mask on the air, but you didn't go for that.
No, I mean, I wear my mask almost all day, so I don't want to wear my mask. No, not right now.
I see. Miss Producer, let's go to Producer Cam and see. Miss Producer, how are things today? You doing okay? Give me a thumbs up on this side of the camera, Miss Producer. There you go. That's the thumbs up. Thank you. So we can prove I'm not just talking to myself. People are saying you're just making that up. I wish I was making that up, but it's not true. So Miss Producer is with us. Norma's with us. I'm kind of here. I'm always medicated on something. Today it's my Perrier, Norma. So salud, excuse me. You don't know what I put in the Perrier, do you, Norma?
Is that even Perrier anyway, right?
That'll be our little secret, Norma.
We got a comment. I just want to point this out. Chris Tristan told me to change the shirt.
You know, I think Chris is right. You should change that shirt, Norma. Can we, Miss Producer, can we just like kind of like pixelate Norma's t-shirt? Yeah, I can't. So we have to look at the entire program, Norma.
Sorry, guys.
Well,
again,
no, don't apologize. If you own it, Norma. People are making fun of my little blue thing down here. So
whatever that is, right?
Whatever that is, you know.
Whatever that is.
I'm comfortable in my sexuality, Norma, and I can wear dresses and still know I'm a man. It's okay.
That's funny.
Look at Chris.
Yeah, Chris is a Texas Longhorn fan. That's why he's hating on my shirt. Come on, Chris.
I'm a Sooners fan, so Chris is about to go off on me. right?
For the U of H coup.
Oh yeah. Well, I went to U of H too, and to OU, and actually I went to about 7 colleges until I finally found the right one.
or the one that would really accept you, right?
Well, Norma, at the time, you're right. It was always the check bouncing, so I couldn't get my credits. Or I swear to you, Norma, one semester, and I shouldn't admit this, but I guess I'm going to. One semester I had the bright idea. When you start university and you're kind of feeling your way, and then 6 years in, which it took me 6 or 8 years to graduate. When you become a junior, you get really comfortable. It's like, okay, I got this now. You start focusing on your major. Believe it or not, I studied at university. I studied political science, and then you get really comfortable. So I think junior into senior year, I said, you know what, I'm going to try something. I signed up for a class, went the first day, took the midterm, and showed up for the final. I didn't do so well, but I thought I had it. I on purpose said, you know what, I'm just going to go for it this way. And I learned my lesson. You have to attend classes.
Yeah, exactly.
For the next generation, at least, we're letting them know that. Norma, several of your friends are with us, so we appreciate that. Any Alex friends? Nothing. Excuse me. I'm gonna write another comment to myself, Norma, because no one shares the love for Alex Parra, and it makes me a little sad. My therapist said, Alex, why are you doing Deportes Nation? You have no talent. You don't know about sports. You barely speak English. But the more we analyzed it, Norma, we figured it's good for me. It's doing this or sulking in bed and eating Cheetos. So there you go.
It's good therapy for you, right?
It's something. It's good therapy, Norma. And thank you for the rest of you, including Norma and her Texas Tech. What's the Texas Tech thing, Norma? Guns up? Guns up, right?
Guns up, yeah.
The guns up. All right. Yeah. Well, there you go. Another tradition. Norma, enough about me. You talk about me. Go ahead, Norma.
You want me to talk about you? Well, I just want to, we have a shout out from Norma Solis Mendoza. We hadn't seen her for a while. She said hello and she says, hi, Alex.
What,
so at least she's giving you a shout out.
Norma, I appreciate it. What have you been doing, Norma? A little drinking during the 4th of July? Is Norma...
I know, we haven't seen her. We haven't seen her online for a while.
Maybe she had a really good 4th of July weekend, Norma. She's just recovering.
And then Crispy Sons, you have a hall pass. He's talking to you, Alex.
Oh, yeah?
He says, great show. Of course, I'm proud of Norma. Good luck to you both. Thanks, Chris, for watching.
And Miss Norma's been a little bit under the weather, so thank you for rejoining us. And I don't know, when I'm sick, I still check out the Facebook, so I feel slighted by Norma. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I hope you feel better, Miss Norma, seriously. And and we all need to be strong right now, physically, mentally, emotionally, Norma. Sports, Norma, are trying to get back to normal. Tonight, the return of MLS soccer. I'm very excited about this, Norma. And MLS didn't just kick off in a normal way. What happened today, and we're showing you some video of the pre-match ceremony, if you will, Norma. The match between Orlando and Miami, a new rivalry in MLS, the Florida rivalry. But as you can see, the players came out minutes before kickoff in solidarity, not only to the Black Lives Matter movement, but also, Norma, that the MLS getting behind their black players and basically saying, look, we're here to support, we're here to make a statement. And as you can see, Norma, and obviously we're trying to be respectful of the pre-game ceremony, which was obviously calculated for television. It was there to make a point. It was there, Norma, to let people know that, you know what, this is a serious situation. We as the MLS are taking it seriously, and we support the end of racism. One of the t-shirts reads, "Silence is violence." One of the masks read, "MLS is black" versus "MLS is back." So, Norma, it's clear that the MLS is making a political statement. I personally don't disagree with the statement. The question is, Norma, is this the right forum? Is this now the expectation moving forward for all leagues that they're going to take a stand? And again, Enrique Vasquez and I in our show earlier today, we discussed that for some people, this is not the forum. Sports should be sports, and that's what it should be. But I do believe, Norma, that this allows us all to recognize the inequalities that have happened, that continue to happen in our society. And what better way to to present it than sport. Obviously, the league, the network here, ESPN, by the way, thank you for courtesy to them for the video, and the players united in this cause, Norma. MLS is back. It started this evening. We'll talk about the game in a little while, but I think this aspect of it, Norma, is also very important. By the way, the match taking place in Orlando at the ESPN Wide World of Sports complex, a beautiful complex.
Right. Yeah, and Alex, we talked about this before. We asked, is this the start of every sports entity making a change, putting a spot out there in regards to Black Lives Matter? And like I said before, I think it's the start of it. I didn't think it was the stop of it. I knew more sports were going to do it, and we see it here. And here, they really, especially here at opening, they put a lot of effort. I mean, they did a lot, I say, in regards to showing their support in regards to it. So, I mean, I don't think this is going to be the end. I think it's going to be on other sports as well, Alex, as we go along.
We see it again, and it really was a moment, Norma, where we saw a lot of players thinking, reflecting, and
emotions,
and emotion. Norma, there's been racism in the world of soccer for years. In Europe, it's awful. In Latin America, it's awful. In the United States, overtly, it hasn't been. But Norma, there's some clubs in Europe that are racist clubs that are literally the hooligans that will shout and say and demonstrate in so many ways that have frustrated players of color. So I'm glad this is happening in the sense of taking a position, taking a stand. We may disagree about whether it's the right forum or not, but something's got to give, Norma. And I think players and leagues and many others have decided, you know what, enough is enough. This is the way to demonstrate it. Black Lives Matter. MLS is back. MLS is black. Silence is violence. And the hope, in many ways, Norma, is that the next generation see this, and hopefully one day, Norma, we truly are colorblind when it comes to society in general, but certainly in sports.
Yeah, I agree, Alex. And like I said, this is not going to be the end of it. I think we're going to continue to see this, and maybe this is a way for us to unite. And, it's not going to stop just in politics. I think it's just going to continue in the world of sports going forward.
So there you have it, Norma, a little bit of what we lived, what the MLS presented. And I watched a little bit of the game. Believe it or not, I actually prepared for the show. I know it sounds shocking. But in between preparing for the show and the rest of my evening, I watched the match. The match itself, Norma, finishing up today, 2-1 was the final score in favor of Orlando. Nani, the Portuguese player, scoring the game winner in stoppage time. There was an injury actually that delayed things in the second half for about 10 minutes. An injury to Andres Reyes, and I'm not sure his condition. I hope he's okay. But the positive side, Norma, that MLS is back. It was exciting to once again see sports trying to wake up. Now the NWLS has been back, the women's soccer league, but it was great to see MLS, and little by little it appears, Norma, the NBA, Major League Baseball will be back as well. NFL making plans to come back as well. So this is another step. The tournament itself, Norma, and maybe you can help me out here with some numbers. I know that the tournament begins today. There's been a couple of modifications in the groups. FC Dallas is now out because of nearly a dozen players and or team members testing positive for COVID. My understanding, Norma, is Nashville, the team from Nashville, also has a high number of positive tests, which may mean that they may be out. It's not confirmed yet, and there may be some reshuffling of the groups and the games, etc. But Norma, as far as what's important, what's coming up, if you can help us out with at least a few of the matches that for now are on the schedule.
Yeah, so I mean, today pretty much was the beginning, Alex. There's 1, 2, 3, Group A through F, I should say. So there's a couple of different groups. Starts with July of today, and then it goes through the knockout stages of 25th through the 28th. And then you have the quarterfinals of July 30th through August 1st, the semifinals being August 5th through the 6th, and then the final being on August 11th.
August 11th. So from now till the middle of August, tomorrow, I believe New York City FC is taking on Philadelphia, and also Montreal taking on New England. So those games are booked. For those of us in Houston, Houston opening up the 13th, Norma, when they take on the LAFC team without Carlos Vela. Carlos Vela, Norma, choosing to stay home because of his wife, and she's pregnant. And I think that's perfectly legitimate, Norma.
Yeah.
If there's some medical situations, we have to be aware of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. And Alex, you said you saw some of the game. I actually watched second half, of course, and it was a little different for me, just watching it.
Sure.
Not no fans. I mean, there were people there, but it was more media. They're looking at the game, and of course the coaches and the other teams, of course. But it was very different. It just didn't seem. It just seemed to me just like a scrimmage that you would go see out of high school. I don't know. It just didn't give me that feeling. But not to bog it down or anything, I'm glad it's back. It just didn't give me the same feeling as before, as the regular season started.
Norma, you make a great point. Sports without fans is not the same, whether it's high school, college, or professional. And I'll give you my assessment of the match itself. There was rust all over the place, Norma. The game winning goal, and I'm watching a highlight now, is basically a defender who didn't even know the ball was coming into the box. It hit off his leg, and Nani said, "Thank you very much." Quality-wise, and actually a good friend of mine who's a coach, Coach Eddie Blois, reaching out to me via text and basically saying what I was thinking, which is, wow, this is just semi-professional level soccer.
Yeah.
And I'm being honest, Norma, and it wasn't World Cup quality or certainly Champions League level soccer, but it's a start.
Yeah, it's a start. I felt the same way, Alex. I felt like it was just a regular old game. It didn't seem as professional as what I would think it would be. But hey, a good thing, I guess, for businesses out there, a lot of marketing, especially since there's no audience or anything, they're really utilizing that space for marketing banners and stuff. But other than that, I mean, to me, it wasn't as the usual. But hey, like I said, I'm glad it's back. And it's
Norma,
time for us to watch the sports.
It's kind of like the way you're dressed today. It's not really appropriate. We don't really want to say anything, but we'll take it.
Hey, I have an excuse. Come on, you got to give me a break, right?
Your excuse is that you had nothing else to wear. Everything else was dirty.
No. First of all,
yes.
I would have worn this shirt regardless at one of the shows.
Regardless.
Okay. I think I'm saying I'm sorry regards to having to wear a hat. My hair looks awful. That kind of deal. The shirt, I'm not apologizing. Like you said, I own it. I'm wearing it. I support it. So
say it loud, say it proud, Norma. Say it loud, say it proud. No, I'm not hating. Again, I'm not hating. I'm just not loving, Norma. There's a difference. Glass half full, glass half empty. It depends how you look at it.
Hey, and Rebecca Rivera, it says, "Nice shirt, Norma. Wreck-em." So at least I'm getting compliments on my shirt, Alex.
Well,
so
Rebecca at this hour must be drunk, Norma. That's the only way she would come up. Yeah, it's cocktail time for Rebecca. Obviously, she's not seeing very straight right now. So I don't blame her.
You hate her.
She doesn't even know what's going on right now. So I get it. I get it, Norma. Well, so that the start of the MLS season. What do you, ladies and gentlemen, think? Meaning, did anyone watch the match? Did anyone actually take time and say, I didn't even know? Some people were texting me saying, I didn't even know there was a match on. I didn't know MLS was back. So it really is about kind of trying to get into the groove of things. What MLS is trying to do, one of the things MLS is trying to do, Norma, have daily matches so they get us into the excitement of what we typically do maybe during the World Cup, during the European Championships, during a competition like Copa America or a Gold Cup where you have matches in groups and that builds excitement. Let's see how it goes. I'm an MLS guy. And a little bit later we'll talk about MLS and maybe our all-time favorite players. But are you, ladies and gentlemen, that watched, are you even excited? And those of you that maybe aren't MLS fans, does this draw you closer? Will you watch anything? Norma, I found myself over the past couple of weeks watching professional cornhole. I didn't know that was a thing. But maybe it's a thing in tech, Norma. Do they have a team for cornhole at Tech?
I don't know, Alex.
Okay.
You remember, I didn't go to Tech. I'm supporting the school because of my niece. Come on. I don't know.
Don't hate, Norma.
Now these days, you never know. Lots of schools have different organizations. I'm sure cornhole is popular somewhere, right?
My point, Norma, was not to pick on cornhole. It has its subtleties. I've attempted to play it, and it's not easy. I mean, and these guys and ladies know exactly what they're doing. But for many people, soccer is still not a major sport in this country. I disagree with that. But will people who normally don't watch soccer, will live matches now bring them to the sport? That's one of the questions, Norma. Is this an opportunity to gain an audience, to grow the audience of soccer in the United States? I think it can be.
Yeah, I think it can be too. I mean, got to be open-minded, Alex, right?
Well, yeah, we love the sport, Norma. So for us, there's no open-minded. We're in. We're all in.
Yeah, we're in. We're always in. Yeah.
So if you watched, we'd love your comments. If you can, what is it called, Norma? Comment, direct message? No, that's something else.
Comment. Yeah. Comment.
Okay.
Comment. Yeah.
Comment, share. I didn't even share this. Well, and Norma, it doesn't really matter at this point. I have no idea.
If you share, it'll take an extra 10 minutes.
That's probably true.
For that to happen.
So, Norma, in one sense, sports is back. In another sense, Norma, sports may not be back. Today, it was announced the Ivy League schools. It's 8 schools, mainly in the northeast part of the United States. Yes, those well-known schools such as Brown, Columbia, Cornell, Dartmouth, Harvard, UPenn, Princeton, and Yale are the 8 schools that are part of the Ivy League. Norma, I'm not Ivy League material. Let me tell you that now. There's no way I would have gone to an Ivy League school. My sister was able to go to an Ivy League school, but that's another story. I've been mentally challenged for a while, Norma, so not even dreaming of it. But the Ivy League today decided that fall sports, including football, will not be played. Good decision, bad decision, Norma? Your thoughts?
It's always been, football in the fall, and I think it'll be different. So I go back and forth, Alex. But yeah, they're looking at the safety of the players. So I guess they're going to try it out and see how it works out. And it's not saying it's not coming back, right? It's just saying it's being pushed back. Right?
I'll read you the official word, Norma. Once I find my glasses, that's the first thing I have to do, and then at that point, I'll be able to tell you. Basically, with the safety and well-being of students as their highest priority, Ivy League institutions are implementing campus-wide policies, including restrictions, etc., etc., etc. So, it will not be possible for Ivy League teams to participate in intercollegiate athletics competitions prior to the end of the fall semester. You can read that different ways, that it's canceled, that it's postponed. Could they dream up playing again in the spring? I guess it's possible, Norma. I guess one of the questions, number one, you saw the quality of the Harvard-Yale game. Again, it's like junior high football in Texas.
Alex, you are in hater mode today.
Norma, come on, Norma. Who goes to Harvard and Yale to play football? I think there's more higher priorities when you go to one of those schools, right?
It's all academics, but
yeah, well,
I'm sure they have some good players, Alex.
If you need a soccer coach, Harvard, just call Uncle Alex up. I'll go interview. I may not get the gig, Norma, but at least I'll go interview.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get you an interview.
Yeah, can you imagine me in an Ivy League school, Norma? No, that's not going to happen.
Yeah,
Uncle Alex. But one of the questions from this, Norma, is what's next? The Pac-10, the big conferences, the Big 12. Is that where we're headed, Norma? Where the big schools are also going to delay, postpone, change their fall semesters? To me now, this is the first domino of many, I say unfortunately, that are about to fall.
Yeah, I'm sure we're going to hear something soon, Alex. I mean, if the Ivy League came out first, giving their decision on what they're going to do for the fall, I'm sure there's going to be more to come. So I'm sure it's going to be soon. I'm sure probably within the next month or so, we'll hear of the others if they're going to be postponing or not. And I'm wondering what our audience thinks. Do they think that who would be upset? Who would be upset if it doesn't come back in the fall or doesn't come back at all?
Well, and what replaces it, Norma? For many people,
Yeah.
and again, all of us have our traditions, our schedule, and it's changing. For many people, it's Friday night high school football, Saturday night or Saturday college football, and Sunday NFL. That's the way people live. Yeah. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's part of our world where we as a society, in many ways, kind of follow that pattern. It's what we've traditionally been taught to do and follow. In many states, like the great state of Texas, Norma, football is king here. And we know that. We live and breathe it. In a community where we live, Norma, of Katy, where we have some of the best high school football, I would dare say, in the country. It's a competitive environment. By the way, played in beautiful stadiums. Some of you that may not know Texas and Katy, there are stadiums, Norma, in Texas that seat 20,000 people, and they're state of the art. 50 million. Miss Producer is shaking her head. Am I right, Miss Producer? Mm-hmm. She says, mm-hmm. And I obviously you have to believe Miss Producer. Norma, there are stadiums that are cathedrals to football at a high school level. Then you have stadiums like in College Station at Texas A&M. You have stadiums at TCU, University of Texas at Austin. I need to make sure I get that plug in so nobody gets mad at me, Norma. That are huge, 85 to 100,000 people. Then, of course, you have the Dallas Cowboys. You have the Houston Texans.
Boo! Dallas Cowboys.
Okay,
why do you always have to bring them up again?
There you go, Norma. You're not a Cowboy fan, apparently.
Alex, we're Texans, Houston Texans. Come on.
What's this we, Norma?
Yeah.
Enrique Vasquez and you. I'm open. I just like good football, Norma.
You're outvoted. We're outvoted with Deportes Nation staff, right? All of us are Houston Texans fans.
Fine. So. Well, why not, Norma? So that's the world we live in, Norma. It's football as a religion, if you will. I can equate it to that. And now that's changing. What takes its place? Boredom? Cornhole? MLS soccer? What happens?
Maybe they'll flip up the sports, Alex, like what we talked about earlier. And that's the thing. People look forward to football. That's the thing that, people are excited. They go to work all day and they know games are coming. They want to come home, watch their game on their big screen or have their get-togethers, right? Or go to the actual games. I mean, it's a big deal. And for that to change, it's going to be different this year. And what's going to take place? Yeah, maybe cornhole. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen.
And someone's going to get right to me about picking on cornhole. It could be anything, Norma.
It could be any sport.
Norma, what about shifting our sports attention to something else?
Like maybe they'll swap baseball.
Well,
baseball or to being a fall sport and
Norma,
I don't know.
Baseball to me is men in pajamas, as you've heard me say. Look, I've covered baseball. I've been part of covering Major League Baseball. It's slightly different, and I understand the argument that for many people soccer is nice and boring, and it's just not my cup of tea. I have to be honest. Well, to me, soccer is not.
Yeah, and everybody has their preference, right? Everybody is going to either like football more, basketball, or baseball, or soccer. So, or you're going to have people that love all of it. So
I think so. Well, some of us like sport in general, Norma, and the competition, and that's the beauty, and I think that's what brings us together. But I am puzzled, Norma, and questioning more than anything what happens if and when. Again, high school, college football doesn't happen. The NFL delays or shortens their season. It's gonna shake us up a little bit. Speaking of one of the reasons behind all of this, Norma, is COVID-19 and schools wanting to open or not open soon, Norma. I don't know if you have looked and seen the political side of this, the political aspects of this, but it's certainly becoming a bit of a fight, Norma, where some people are gung-ho, schools have to open, and then another group of people are saying, wait a minute, you're opening way too fast. This is a serious problem we're having right now, Norma, and mixed signals from our government. That's what's most confusing, I think, to me personally.
Yeah, I think it's a big ordeal, of course, right now, Alex. I mean, you've got your President Trump that's saying that he wants schools to open, of course, and
Wait.
then
You
you
said
know,
my President Trump, right?
well, this is the thing. Yesterday, you made that comment. I don't know if you caught it. I'm sure if you looked at yesterday's show,
I don't
you
like
told
to
me
I don't
your
like to look
president.
back on the wreck that is Deportes Nation, Norma. But we can call up the video if you'd like.
Yeah, and so anyway, and the thing is, Alex, I mean, I wonder what teachers feel. I wonder what, the majority of the teachers, they sent surveys out to all the parents at every school district. I'm assuming, I know our school district, I know Katie as well. I'm sure others in Texas as well. And, I'd like to know what the teacher survey was, what their aspects of wanting to go back and, do they want, what are their options? Are they going to have the same options as the kids? The kids have the options to either go virtually or in class. Will teachers have the same option as well? I don't know. That's going to be interesting. To be honest, I don't want to send my kids. I honestly will want to wait to send my kids, and then at that point we can make a decision. But I say I'd wait for
Could
me.
there, and I respect that opinion, Norma, and I actually personally I think I agree with it. And I've got, well, all my children are in school at different levels. But we have to respect that's a possibility for many of us. Do you think homeschooling,
Yeah.
Norma? Do you think homeschooling becomes now a more of a reality where we, being at home more, take it under our belt to at least supplement our children's education in some way? And might that be an answer? Homeschooling. I don't know if we have any educators that are watching, that are listening. I'd love to have their feedback, like you said. How do they
Yeah.
feel? They're basically in the front lines, Norma. They're going to go.
Yeah.
They're going to be in literally in front of hundreds or thousands of kids, which. Again, to me, it's obvious, right?
Right.
It's just a breeding ground for not only continuation of COVID-19, but for other illnesses and diseases.
Yeah.
I can't even say that, Norma.
That's okay, Alex. You've been drinking a lot today, so
Yeah,
we'll let you pass.
Don't tell anyone, Norma. Just as our little secret.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting to see, Alex, and and maybe they'll do kind of like how colleges do it. They're like online. I know a lot of this past school year, a lot of the teachers did a couple of Zoom classes. Maybe it's a couple of those. I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to get people.
Maybe we should start the Deportes Nation live teaching at night. You think kids could learn from this? They could learn what not to do.
No,
right?
We definitely wouldn't want any kids to be instructed.
Wait a minute, Miss Producer, why are you laughing? Can you believe this? She's laughing. By the way, Norma, did you see my duck? I don't know if you can see my duck.
Yeah, I saw it on the other side.
Okay,
Yeah,
my duck over here. I'm very proud of my duck. That's my only fan, Norma. I have one fan, which is the duck that apparently has no pants. So that's a whole other issue for another day. But Miss Producer says it's a casual duck. Norma, if I walked around without pants, I'd be arrested, even in my own house.
Exactly.
So I'm just trying to make my point. The world is changing, Norma, and I think we have to adapt and change with it. And have that word that we've been using is flexibility. It's just, I think, a reality of the life, the day, the times we are living. And Norma, look, as difficult as it is, if you look back in history, we as a society, as a culture, have been hit with heartache, with hardship, and it's how we overcome it. That's a true test of who we are. So very interesting year. As you know, here on the Deportes Nation, we talk scores, we talk sports, we talk all kinds of things. Today, the opening of the MLS. MLS is back. And Norma, why don't we talk a little bit about, in our history, our favorite or our top MLS players of all time. When Miss Producer sent that list or asked for that today, I had to do a lot of thinking. There's a lot of great players, Norma, that have been part of MLS. But why don't we do this? As a gentleman that I am, we have you go to your list first. And here is Ms. Norma's top 5 MLS players of all time.
Oh, thanks, Alex, for letting me go first.
Sure, Norma.
So my number 5 is DeMarcus Beasley.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Norma. I don't want to hear you. No, go for it, please.
DeMarcus Beasley. Well, he just ended his career with the Dynamos 2019, Alex, and started at LA Galaxy. What's interesting with him, what I like about him, he's from Indiana, out of all places, right? So
Wow.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Really like him. Of course, you can't go wrong with Brian Ching. He started, of course, with LA Galaxy as well, and retired with the Dynamos in 2013.
He sure did.
Brian Ching, and then Zlatan, and I probably
Ibrahimovic. That's pretty good.
Ibrahimovic.
Yeah.
Same guy, LA Galaxy as well, that he played with. But yeah, he's the best striker and won like 31 trophies, Alex, in his career.
Yes.
He currently plays with Milan, so I really like him. He's one of my top ones.
Yeah, he is.
And you can't go wrong with David Beckham, right? Everybody loves David Beckham.
I don't know about everybody, Norma. Let's see if he's on my list.
And again, he started with LA Galaxy, or actually played with LA Galaxy, and then he retired in 2013 after 20 years. And then, again, I think this is my top is Landon Donovan. I can't go wrong with him either. He also played with LA Galaxy. I don't know. Great players come from LA Galaxy, I guess. But he's definitely had, at the end, got the MLS MVP award.
Sure.
Honored under his name, that's like a very big accomplishment. So yeah, that's my top 5 right there, Alex.
Well, Norma, that's a good top 5. I'm not necessarily against those. Landon Donovan certainly has been a figure in U.S. soccer. I think.
Yeah.
I believe that he's been one of those players that transitioned us from what kind of country trying to play to a country that has become more competitive. I mean, the United States.
Right.
So, yeah, that's a good list, Norma. I can't disagree with most of the people on your list, the men on your list. Let me get you now with my top 5 MLS players of all time. Number 5, Brian Ching from the Houston Dynamo.
Yeah.
He played for the Earthquakes also. But he's a man that made an impact. Certainly in Houston, when I covered and I was a commentator for the Dynamo, Brian Ching did it all. He scored goals, but he was also the face of the franchise, which is difficult at times, Norma, to really carry. DeMarcus Beasley,
Yeah.
I'm with you there. Again, someone who's played pretty much at every level, done it well, and even into his later years when he graduated, when he retired from the Houston Dynamo, a multifaceted player. He played in different positions on the field, multilingual, Norma. He could speaks great Spanish, English, Italian. So it really has been an impactful player. Dwayne De Rosario, who's Canadian, plays for the Canadian national team. To me, again, a wizard on the ball. He also played with the Houston Dynamo for some time, and I believe retired after playing in Toronto, if I'm not mistaken. Number 2, Clint Dempsey. You forgot about Clint Dempsey in your top 5, Norma. Again, to me also, Clint leading what is American soccer in the past couple of years. And finally, Landon Donovan, my number 1. So we're not that far away from each other, Norma. Landon Donovan, our top MLS player of all time. So at least we agree with that. And, Landon has really made an impact, and he's a role model for many players.
Yeah, no, definitely, Alex. I mean, when you think of soccer, you think of Landon. So he's a face of it.
I think so. Now, what's next, Norma? I think there's another whole generation. I see this new change in MLS and in players. And, when I grew up, I call it the dark ages of soccer, literally late 80s into the early and mid 90s. There was really no professional league to speak of. And it was times before the MLS that were painful. It was hard to even when the MLS started, it was hard to have a career. MLS initially, marking the 25th year, 25 years of MLS soccer this year, Norma, and that's an accomplishment. To me, that tells us how far the league has come along. It's come a long way, and obviously, as a soccer guy, I'm happy for it. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen, that may be watching? Again, it appears we don't have a lot of soccer fans, Norma, that are chiming in, or maybe it's that shirt you're wearing that's turning people off. I think maybe
people have their top MLS player, Alex. We don't know. Maybe they'll chime in.
maybe they will, Norma. So I wanted to go back, Norma, to a story we talked about yesterday with the senator from Georgia, and we'll put up the comments again of Kelly Loeffler, if I'm pronouncing the name correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. Who was talking about a separation of politics and sports. She is also a co-owner of the WNBA team from Georgia, based in Atlanta. And WNBA players have now come out, Norma, and said, you know what, with these kind of views, and this is just a part of what she said, she's basically trying to separate Black Lives Matter from the WNBA. And the reason I bring that up, Norma, is because today what we saw with the MLS was the total opposite. That the MLS was embracing Black Lives Matter. And from the commissioner down to sponsors, I imagine, Norma, they are behind this. And that's one of those perplexing, situational, to me, confusing things. One league is all in and embracing. Another league is saying, wait a minute, we need to separate politics, because I imagine Senator Loeffler's point of view is, I don't agree with these politics. So is that the world we live in, Norma? And what happens if someone gets offended, Norma? What happens if someone, let's take this to the next level, at a high school, a local, or a college, a game, match, there is a disagreement between players who say, no, I'm not going to stand up for the anthem. Yes, I am going to stand up for the anthem. Are we going to have tolerance, I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, I think in that situation, Alex, I give it probably another week or two until one of those players is going to wind up standing up, or a couple, or more than we could imagine. I'm sure someone's going to speak up. I mean, that this is the initial start of it. You know, she first, Miss Loeffler, she just started. You know,
you're a senator, Norma. You're a senator. No?
Senator Loeffler, I should say.
Yes.
So, you know, she's first just being more vocal in regards to it right now, and we haven't heard from the players yet, so I'm sure that's going to come out.
No, well, the players have said, Norma, that they want her out of the league. They don't want her being part owner of the league, that her point of view does not represent the values of the league. So to me, it's clear what the players are demanding and asking for. And the senator, in this case, wants separation because she doesn't agree with that tactic. Again, that my point, Norma, is tolerance. If you and I disagree, and we disagree a lot, especially about that shirt, but instead of me going to a one-shot, Norma, I keep you on camera because it's the right thing to do. Look at Lisa. You know, Lisa says she loves the shirt. I don't know what. Yeah, see? She likes my blue shirt apparently. No?
Maybe we need her to clarify, but I'm 100%. She's probably talking about my shirt, Alex.
Yeah, something like that. Norma, we have to be tolerant, don't we? And if someone objects and says, no, I am going to. Now, there's certain things we have to stand, I don't mean literally, but get behind, Norma. The right thing is the right thing. Human rights, equality, treating people with respect, treating people as we would treat ourselves. That's obvious to me. And there is no place for racism. There is no place for injustice. There is no place for any of those things. We cannot tolerate that. But Norma, also, how far do we take it? Today, I don't know if you heard, Amazon is going to be going to stop selling Washington Redskins merchandise.
I didn't hear that.
And putting more pressure, Norma, on the Washington NFL franchise to change that nickname. It is again, politically, we all have a choice to participate or not, to be consumers of a product or a brand. And maybe this is, not maybe, Amazon's obviously taking a position on this.
Yeah, so is Amazon that you know of, are they taking positions on other stuff as well?
I don't know.
Not just in regard to the Redskin. Is that the start of them saying now they're going to evaluate the things that they sell, and now they'll stop selling other things, you know, in regards to where they think it could be offended at that point to make a statement?
Great question, and it's probably something we'll talk about tomorrow. If someone can comment on what Amazon's planning or thinking, we wouldn't mind. You know what? I could look it up on the internet, Norma. I forget that I have that power in front of me. Right? Oh, my kids, Norma, we're watching a movie or any movie, and immediately, well, who's that actor? In Wikipedia, right, Miss Producer? Wikipedia, and you find out that this guy was in that movie and I didn't remember, etc. Maybe that's what we should do. But at this point, Norma, it appears that Amazon is taking that position. And what's next? I mean, money talks, Norma. Sponsorship talks, and that's part of this.
Yeah, and with Senator Loeffler, Alex, I'm probably going to look it up. Is there like sponsors? Are there, companies out there that sponsor, in regards to that sport of, are they going to be wind up backing out because of her decision or what she stands for?
So let me,
that's the other thing.
Yes, ma'am. Forgive me. Let me go back to Amazon. Let me read you what I'm seeing here.
Okay.
This is a quote from. Let me be clear. Make sure I get it right.
Do you need your glasses?
Well, yeah, I probably need my glasses, and reading would have helped. The quote is the following: With the announcement from the Washington Redskins team and the NFL, we are removing products with the team's name and logo from our stores. This is according to CNBC, by the way, and this is from an online seller group called ASGTC. Failure to properly close or delete all restricted products listings from your inventory may result in deactivation. So that's speaking to anyone trying to sell on their platform that they are removing Washington team products with the team's name and logo. So that's definitely putting a pressure on the Redskins, forgive me, on Washington to make a change. So there you go, Norma. One sponsor affects the other sponsor. Now, what happens in some of these cases, Norma, is that people become even more entrenched and say, you know what? Fine. I don't need your money, but I'm going to stand by my decision.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, Alex, that's going to be the start of, again, going back to what Amazon's going to do with the rest of the things that they sell, and then that could be the start of other things that, other companies that sell, Washington Redskins stuff. Are they going to stop selling it? Is it going to be a Walmart or Academy or, so forth? Or are they all going to wind up doing that? So, yeah, that's interesting.
It is interesting. And what do you, ladies and gentlemen, think? Is that, number one, the right decision to change the name? If you ask me personally, Norma, and nobody did, but I'll go ahead and give you my opinion anyway. It is time.
Go ahead.
It is time. You're clearly speaking about a nickname that, from my perspective, we've kind of accepted, but you've got to think about it. You've got to go back and say, what does that mean? It's literally talking about someone's skin color, a name that was used for indigenous people in North America, and in my opinion, it has no place in our current society. Certainly not as a celebration, like President Trump said a few days ago, of strength. To me, it's the contrary. And if we don't accept that, then what? And President Trump's point of view, Norma, in his tweet, which we talked about a few days ago, was, hey, don't give in to political correctness. I get it, Norma. We have to have an opinion and disagree with it. Because if we swing with the wind, but this is a wind, Norma, that's been blowing for centuries. This is the right thing to do. Like in this case, Norma, standing up for injustice and racism in sport. It's wrong, period. Let's support it. Let's get behind it. And hopefully we can one day be colorblind. Norma, I got to take my pill. Too much talking.
Alex, we have a question online. Lisa Hernandez Maldonado said, when was this announced? Amazon stock went up since the pandemic. Yeah,
the announcement from Amazon is just coming today. Is what we're reading, and again, I caught a little bit of it. But if we'll have some more details tomorrow on the show, Norma. But that's an announcement that's coming today that Amazon is no longer going to sell Washington NFL gear. I imagine until there's a change in the nickname to the team. And well, Amazon right now is booming. I think with most of us, Norma, I didn't know this whole Amazon world. All I know is that on my credit card, someone in my family is ordering Amazon almost every day. That's all I know. It's like, who ordered that? Delivered to my house. I don't see anything. I just know every 3 minutes someone's going to the door and picking up a box.
I'm the same way, Alex. I mean, Amazon is life right now for us. It's like you can get anything on Amazon. I mean, it's the best.
It's certainly made our life a lot easier during this pandemic, so I give them credit. But that's a good question, Lisa. Thank you. Now, she asked correctly. Wonder if stock will go down. So people that don't support the decision, Norma, they may say, you know what? I don't agree with you, and my vote is what? Voting with my dollar, with the moolah,
Yeah.
el dinero.
Yeah, yeah, and that could make a difference on that.
Norma, as we wrap up the show, and believe it or not, we're going a little bit over time because we actually started late. But have you ever consciously, Norma, three questions? Would you ever?
Lord.
Question number one: would you ever go protest publicly if you believe in something strong enough? And have you done it? I protested back in my college years, Norma, during I believe it was the Republican National Convention in Houston. And I remember partaking in a walk for peace, for equality back in the day. I haven't done anything since then. Would I do it in this day and age? I'll answer first. Yes, I would protest. Would Norma Morales do it?
Yeah, I would. If I strongly believed in it, yes, I would. Now, right now with the pandemic and me having to go through what I'm going through right now, and I'd still support it anyway. But being out there to protest, I probably would have to protest a different way rather than being out there. Just because right now of the pandemic.
A virtual protest, Norma.
Yeah, because what I'm going through right now, I do not want to have to go, which I'm sure it may happen again, but
Understood. Yeah. Question number two, would you allow and or encourage your children, Norma, to participate in protest if they strongly believed in something, even if you didn't agree with them? Question number two.
No, I mean, once they're adults, yeah. If they want to do that on their own, yes. I'd support them. But, of course, for them to do it safely and respectfully, Alex.
There you go.
So, yeah, I would.
Safely and respectfully. And finally, Norma, have you ever or would you vote with your dollars? If you disagree with someone, for instance, a sports team, let's say the X team from Houston, we're not going to name one, suddenly did something you didn't agree with, either in their ownership or a policy they have, would you walk away from a sport maybe or entertainment in any way because of those decisions? Would that affect your decision to give them your money?
Yeah, if it was really bad, Alex, and something that I strongly feel that, I didn't think it was right, yeah, I wouldn't support it. No, I wouldn't buy anything. So, yeah.
And I think more and more people are thinking that way. They're generally saying, you know what, it's time for us to be more socially conscious, more aware of the world we live in. Norma, by the way, we have a shout out from Dalia en Mexico. Saludos, Dalia. Gracias por sintonizarnos, por seguirnos. Today, by the way, Norma, at the White House, there was a meeting between AMLO, the president from Mexico, and Donald Trump. The first time they've ever met, working on signing the trade agreement. I believe it's a three country agreement, Canada, Mexico, and United States. This is the new agreement that's replacing NAFTA, the famous NAFTA. But it was interesting to have President AMLO, López Obrador, in the United States. And maybe tomorrow we'll have more news about the meeting with Trump, Norma. That's a whole show, Norma. But to me,
so did
yes.
You say that with the president of Mexico? You said, right?
Yes, President of Mexico meeting Trump at the White House. Correct. Can you not hear me, Norma?
No. I was just wondering what you did say some stuff. Maybe that's a topic for tomorrow.
The point is you don't listen to me. I think that's really what's happening here.
No. I was thinking they were going to talk about the wall or something.
I'm getting there, Norma.
You were? Okay. Maybe I was just going a little bit. That was my question. Did they talk
You're
about that?
already reading my mind, Norma. It's
okay.
interesting, Norma, how in many ways President Trump was elected based on his comments, very calculated, on building this wall. By the way, this wall that hasn't been completed, Norma, and frankly will never be completed. It's just a symbol. It's a thing to say to catch people's emotion. The border, Norma, between Mexico and the United States has always flowed back and forth. People have come and go, and people that populate, as you know, Norma, the border area region I say we, many of my family and ancestors have always been there, regardless of where the border moves up or down, Norma. And I'm not trying to be difficult when I say that, but I think it's impractical, impossible, and culturally, Norma, there is no wall. We can get into the whole debate maybe tomorrow, Norma, about legal or undocumented workers, and the history of all that. But Norma, I think the first thing I would say is there's no need for a wall, Norma. Culturally, socially,
Yeah.
we are part of each other's lives. And I think to pretend that doesn't exist, and it's my first time talking about this on the show, and maybe we're going to lose our audience, Norma. It's who we are. I mean, I remember stories, Norma, and I remember when I was younger, many years ago, the border was literally just the crosswalk. You didn't have to wait long. You were back and forth. There was no checking of papers. Even now, Norma, the last couple of times I've gone to Laredo, for instance, for fights, people are freely coming back and forth. It's a reality of life. And you accept the good and the bad that comes with that. There are bad actors everywhere on both sides, Norma. So it was interesting. My point was Lopez Obrador meeting today with Trump, a first of its kind face-to-face meeting in Washington. So I'm glad that's happened, and I'm glad there's dialogue, Norma. I've always said this. We need each other as countries, period. There's no way around that. And if we don't face that fact sooner rather than later and not demonize each other, Norma, I think we'll be better for it. Norma, they're kicking me out.
Yeah.
They're kicking me out, Norma.
I just want to congratulate you that throughout your whole spiel that you just did, we have not lost one follower. So congratulations.
For once, Norma, usually when I get off and start talking, the ratings just drop dramatically.
Well, when you start talking, I look at the numbers to see where we're at the beginning and see if it drops. But congratulations.
For once?
Congratulations.
Yeah, maybe people had me on mute, Norma, so they have no idea.
That's good, Alex.
Maybe that's what they're hoping for, Norma. I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with Norma. A great show. Thank you for being today. What are we looking forward for tomorrow, Norma? Maybe a little recap of the Orlando-Miami game. What's on your radar the rest of this week?
Yeah, we didn't get to talk about the NWSL. I actually haven't been able to watch a game, which I'm a little disappointed, Alex, on that, because I need to find a way. I need to pay. You got to pay. If you don't have the network, of course, you got to pay to watch the games because it's on, if I recall, CBS All Access. Is it CBS All Access?
It is.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. And for once, you're not wrong.
So I actually thought it was like regular channel CBS, but it wasn't. And I've been a little disappointed. I need to figure out how to get access to it, but I think you have to pay like a monthly or yearly subscription to have access to it to watch it.
So that's your bottom line, Norma. You don't want to have to pay. That's your bottom line.
No. I mean, the thing is, like, MLS, you don't have to pay, right? I mean, the men's soccer, you don't pay, and they get the support. And how are you going to be able to get people to support women's soccer and you're having to pay? Which I'm not saying, I'm not dogging it or anything, Alex. I'm just saying that men's soccer, you don't have to pay, but in order to watch women's soccer, you are having to pay. But anyways.
Norma just ripping up the NWSL, ladies and gentlemen, live on Deportes Nation. Wow. You need to take your medication.
I didn't realize it, Alex, that you had to pay. That's the thing. I was looking forward to the first game, and then I got busy with all this COVID stuff, so
how dare
didn't
you,
get a chance to look. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see how to get access to it, and so yeah.
And by the way, Norma, the match that was played tonight was the Houston Dash taking on Sky Blue FC. We do have a final score. Sky Blue FC defeating the Houston Dash 2-0 was the final score. That at the Zion Bank Stadium in Utah. So for us Houston and Houston Dash fans, not necessarily the score that we wanted this evening. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the NWSL. Norma, actually, at 11 o'clock at night, we've got all kinds of people watching. Maybe we'll start the show at 11 and stay on live till 3 o'clock in the morning and have a couple of cocktails along the way.
It's either that or people are bored tonight. I don't know. But thanks
Yeah.
I'm grateful that people are watching.
Norma, I'm grateful again. My therapist said, keep doing the show, Alex, or what will you do with yourself? Eat more ding dongs and lay in bed. I can't do that anymore, Norma. I cannot do that anymore. Norma, if you don't mind, take us home, Norma. Send us away. Here we go.
Okay. Thanks everyone for watching tonight, and we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. So thanks.
We absolutely do. Good night, everybody. Take care. Hasta luego. Hasta la próxima. Cuídense. Bye. Ciao. Whatever else you have to say. Norma, give us a wave. Give us a wave, Norma. Give us a wave. She's so excited. Thanks, Norma. Thanks to all of you. Until next time.
Bye.